The first topic, we talk about different mathematical functions. One of the important functions is a quadratic function, which is of this general form. Okay, y equals a to the power of x squared plus bx plus c, and we use that for all sorts of different things in finance and economics. Now, one of the reasons I introduced this topic is I want to show students how to use a very important function in Excel called the solver. Now, this equation here, if I have an equation of this form, it's a parabola type thing. And over here, if we go down the bottom here, you can see I've said C, topic 1 completing with square, which you can get from the Blackboard. This is the Excel file. Now, this here is a graph of a quadratic function, and you can see it has this particular curve. One of the things that, if you're trying to graph this function, one of the things that you might be wanting to try and do is find out where it intercepts the x-axis. And that is not a simple process, because if you look at this function here, there's no way of setting y equal to 0, rearranging it and getting x by itself. And so it has to be done using an iterative process. Now, to do that, if you look at this particular function, you can see that it doesn't intercept the x-axis at all. But if I look at this one here, what I've got is that's the values of x, and that's the quadratic function worked out. Okay. And you can, if you follow through the spreadsheet, you'll see how that all works, but that's the value of y for different values of x. But what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to find the value of x that makes y 0. Now I can see that it occurs by looking at the graph. It intersects here and here. Now just at the moment, that's one of the solutions, and that's the other. But let me try, say, 15 to be that. Now clearly in that case, that is not the value of y. That x value does not make y 0. Now, I could spend a lot of time mucking around with the spreadsheet. Alternatively, the easiest way to do it is to use the solver in Excel. Now, if you go to the solver, you will potentially have to preload it as an add-in. And then if you go to the solver, now I've actually set this up already. I think we can see it. It says set the objective function L7, which is that thing. And then I've clicked here, not maximum minimum, but to the value of 0. By changing that particular value, and that's the value of x below. So if I click solve, it says solver found a solution, all constraint optimized, etc. Keep solver solution, so I'll say OK. And you can see that is a value of x that gives me y equal to 0. What I might do is I might just copy that one down here, because the thing is I know there are two solutions because I can see that it intercepts the x-axis twice. So what I might do is I've kept that one. Excel's not smart enough to tell you that there are two solutions. It just goes and does its little magic, and eventually it gives you the single solution. But if I try a different one, say if I put that equal to 0, now again that's not equal to 1. I'm trying to con it into giving me the other value, the other intercept. Now if I look down here, I can see it's something between 0 and 5, because that's where it's crossing the axis. So let's have a little go here. Same thing, it remembers everything. And solve, did it give me one? Yes, it did. So one intercept is 1.91, the other one is 13.09, and that's where that is there. If I did it for this one here, it would not give me a solution. I could spend forever trying to find a solution for this, and it would not work out, because when I graph it here, it doesn't cross the axis. There's a third example over here, and you could play around with that yourself, and there are two solutions as well. Anyway, very important for you to learn how to use the solver at the start of this course, because we're going to use it over and over and over again. Thank you.